Hello and welcome to my channel, Talisman Tarot. In this reading I want to ask the cards and spirit directly through channeling, and also these rune stones here that I'm going to be using. These rune stones on top of these decks here. Yeah, I'm going to use all of that in order to find out what's going to happen in April 2024 for you. What are the prospects, what's going to happen, so and also maybe some advice on some of the situations that you might see yourself in during the month of April. And so I have 3 groups that you can choose from. This will be group number 1, this will be group number 2, and this will be group number 3. And so I will ask you to use your intuition and choose the group that speaks to you the most, the group that catches your eye, and that group will be your group. And if you need any more time to choose, then you can just pause the video. And if you want a clearer vision of the cards, you can just wait until after this intro. There will be an image where you can see the decks up close and personal, and it might make it a little bit easier to, choose which one is yours. So, yeah. But when you figure out which one is yours, you can just go down to the description box below and find the timestamp for your particular group, and then you can click on that, and the reading should appear in front of you. And yeah. And while you're down there in the description box below, make sure to check out my guide on how to book a personal reading from me. I love doing personal readings for you guys. It's always a pleasure. So please check that out. But let's focus on this reading right here. So choose your group and I'll see you in your reading. Hello, group number 1, you chose this Jolanda Tarot deck and this rune stone here, the Eva's rune stone, which means horse. And I'm sensing that what this rune stone is telling me about your April month is that I think the key to success in April 2024 for you is to be a good sport, to be a good team player, to have faith in the people around you, and to trust the people around you. Trust that they want the best for you. Trust that they are not trying to do something behind your back that could potentially hurt you. I think it's maybe good to go into the month of April with an open mind, and also maybe erase some of the past experiences that you've had with certain people, especially if they are trying to do better. Then I don't think it's good to keep holding a grudge over something that happened 5 years ago or something like that. It might be time to move on and allow that person to show you that they have changed. And so, yeah. And I'm also sensing that this month could be a good month to be kind instead of being right. That sometimes there might, like, I feel like in April there will be some situations where you will have that decision that you have to make, where you can decide between being kind to a person who might not have a lot of victories in their life, who might have a lot of things that are going against them, and this person might have experienced a lot of adversity in their life, and it might be better to just allow that person to do something that is maybe potentially gonna have a negative impact on you, or a negative effect on you, like especially if this is about working together with this person in a team or something like that. Like if this is someone you work with, or if this is someone you study with, then if you're working in a team with this person and doing a project together with this person, and this person is kind of being wrong about the direction that they are taking the project, it might be better to just allow that person to just do it in the way that they want to do it, and compromise with your own vision, just for the sake of not having a disagreement with this person, because I don't think it's going to be worth it. And I think it might also be a good way to maybe make a good friend, to just accept that, okay, this is not going to be perfect, because this person is maybe, a little bit flawed, a little bit more flawed than you are, but you can make the most of it, and at least you could maybe have some fun doing it. And I think you could have fun doing it if you just let go of the perfection, like of the idea of perfection, the perfectionism, like that. It's better to be kind than to be right. And I know it's hard, especially if it's something where you have to sign your name on it, like where you will feel like you're being associated with this work that you're doing with this person. And of course, it is hard to compromise your own integrity, but it shows a lot of integrity too, to be able to compromise your own vision, like to be able to take things in another direction than you initially would have done, because it shows a different character. Like it shows that you're willing to work together, and I think that will actually end up giving you more success, because I think, especially if it's work related or school related, I think your teachers or your bosses, they are going to appreciate that you were a team player, that you were a good sport, rather than if you had gone the autonomous route and rebelled against the project and done things just on your own, alone. So yeah, I think it's just a good month to just go with the flow, follow the stream, do things in the way that other people want them to be done. Like don't rebel too much. Don't set yourself in a situation where you're maybe an easy target because you are criticizing. Like, because it does make, like, if you criticize something, then you're making yourself the target of criticism. Because if you are up on your high horse criticizing other people, I know you're not up on this horse, I'm just saying that other people might see it that way, that you're up here trying to look down on them, and so they will look down on you as a revenge form. Like they will they will retaliate, or they will try to set the scales, and I think that's just going to end up in some kind of back and forth where it's just going to get a little bit ugly if you do it that way. Like don't and like I know it's not just you, it's also them, but maybe a way to avoid getting into this crossfire would be to just take a step back and just don't participate in it. Just be a good sport. Just accept that things are not in your control always. Like that it's okay to let go of your own vision and just get the best, like get the most out of trying to adapt to someone else's vision. Like try to see if you can maybe work so much on someone else's vision to the point where it's just as good as your own. You know, it's different from your own vision, but it's worked through in a way where you're actually gonna, I think you're gonna be happy with it if you work with it. And so maybe be open-minded, and yeah, maybe be a little bit of a pushover just in April. I'm not saying that you're supposed to be this forever. I'm just saying in this month, I think this would be a good approach in order to gain the most success from this month and have the least obstacles that you have to deal with. So yeah. Also, this message also seems to apply to your personal life. If some people are making bad decisions around you, like if you have a friend who is getting back together with their ex, or if you have a friend who has initiated a romantic relationship with someone who is twice their age or something like that, it's very tempting to say something. And in every other month I would say that, like, say go for it, but I feel like in April I'm saying that maybe don't say anything. Like maybe just say that you're happy for them. Just be supportive. Don't criticize. Don't give advice on it. Just keep yourself out of it, and just tell yourself that it's none of your business. That it's their life. It's not your life. They can do whatever they want to do, and yes, they're probably going to cry about it afterwards, and expect your support afterwards when it goes sideways. But then you can just be there for them when it goes sideways. Don't gloat when it goes sideways, even though that's tempting too. Like don't tell them that you knew that all along and that they should have listened to you or something like that, because it's just and you wouldn't even have to say that, because you're not going to voice your opinion about this. Or if you're going to voice your opinion about it, don't gloat when it goes sideways. So I'm just sensing that maybe be passive. Be very passive in April. Just let people live their lives and just help them live their lives the way they want to live them. Like that, try to be supportive. Try to look at the bright side of life. Like if someone comes to you and asks you for advice, of course you want to tell them that, well, this is like, but the problem is that if they come to you, like especially the person who's getting back together with their ex, if they come to you and ask you for advice, they are expecting you to tell them that this is a bad idea, that they deserve better, that they are making a mistake, and they are expecting an outrage. And maybe that's also why they do it, you know. Like they might feel like they're getting some attention out of this. And so maybe when they feel neglected, like when they start feeling like you're neglecting them, or the people around them are neglecting them, they know what buttons to click on in order to make people suddenly interested in their life again, and that is to get back together with their abusive ex. Like, so I think not giving them that attention, that negative attention, could actually make them want to stop doing it. Like that maybe it would just be fuel to the fire if you actually criticize this. So maybe just keep yourself out of it. I think they would get bored with that reaction. I think it would be even more annoying to them if you just told them that you're going to be supportive if they decide to do it, if they decide to go back to their ex, that you hope they're going to have a good life together. Like that, because that's not what they expect, then it might be the way to go. And also just make sure that this person knows that you're gonna be supportive of them no matter what, you know, and show them attention for other things, so that they know that they can actually get attention from other things other than getting back together with their ex. So, yeah. So I'm gonna do some channeling. So Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 1, the people who will choose group number 1? What's going to happen in April 2024? What's going to happen? I'm kind of getting an image of an ant, like the insect, the ant, and of course the ant is a team player. The ant is also, is an insect that is very ready to give away their autonomy for the greater good of the group. And also, I think this is just what, like, I feel like you're just supposed to just, be a team player. I don't know how else to say this. I keep repeating it because it seems to be the only thing that's coming through here, is that I think in April, just go about your business as usual. Like, just go to work or go to your studies and do the things that you're supposed to do. Don't give anybody lip about it. Don't criticize or rebel against the things that you're being ordered to do. And if your coworkers or your classmates are, in disagreement with you, just be a pushover and just say, okay, you can just do whatever. Because if you get too controlling about wanting to be right, wanting to control the situation, especially if you're going to be in a school project, then it's gonna have a negative impact on the social dynamic of the group if you if you put yourself in a position where you're gonna go against what they want to do, like the direction that they want to go in, that it's just gonna make it easier for them to just put the whole workload on you. Like if you become very stubborn about wanting your own vision to be visualized and you only want that, then you're also gonna make it very hard for you, because then you're not gonna have anyone to work with, because they're gonna just leave it for you to do it, because you're the only one who can do it perfectly anyways, so why even bother? So I think it's just about just compromising, letting people just do their own thing, and then just help them with it, and do what they expect you to do, and just do your part as good as you can do it, but don't interfere with the social dynamic of the group. Just try to be a good sport. So and also follow the rules blindly. And even if you feel like it's inefficient, even if you feel like it's impractical, even if you feel like there is a way to do it that's much better, and where you know it's better because you've tried it a bunch of times and you have experience with it, and so you know that your way to do it is bulletproof, just keep that to yourself anyways, because it's just sometimes it's just easier to just follow blindly what everybody else are doing, because they won't even believe that your way is the most efficient way until they realize it afterwards, like after the fact, when they see that their way to do it wasn't very efficient, and when they realize that they were wrong and you were right, like that's the only point that they are gonna realize that they should have listened. But before that, then they're not gonna listen, because you're just one person, and sometimes the majority ends up being, like the majority gets the vote, because, well, if enough people are stupid enough to believe that one thing is the right thing to do, they're not going to listen to one person going against that. And in a way it's logical enough, because usually the majority is right, but just sometimes it's not, well, sometimes it isn't that way. So, but just be a good sport. Two of Wands. Well, it's about planning, and I feel like, okay, so with the Nine of Wands, I'm sensing that you are a very strong person, you're a very intelligent person, you have things figured out, and this is a superpower that is quite hard to have sometimes, It's hard to be the only one knowing that things are going to end up in disaster. It's annoying to be the only one with foresight to be able to see where things are headed, and it's frustrating to not be able to do anything about it, because people are too stubborn to listen to your input. But it's just maybe just maybe just be happy that you know, like be happy that, like when you realize that you were right all along, see that as confirmation that you know a lot more than maybe than people give you credit for, and you know maybe also more than you give yourself credit for. And so sometimes it's just like, even though you're not going to act on it in April, because it's going to make you unpopular and it's going to cause a lot of obstacles that are going to be interfering with the harmony. And sometimes harmony is the most important. That's also where the Two of Wands comes in, because harmony is important. It's good to keep the balance. And even though it's also about planning, it's planning. It is outweighing the pros and cons, and sometimes we need to do that when addressing a situation where you know it would be nice to be the only one who was right, you know, and to have had everybody against you, and to be able to gloat about it afterwards and say that they should have just listened to you and then everything would have been fine. But the thing is that's like, even though you're going to be right about it, it's not going to make people respect you more, sadly. It's just going to make people more annoyed with you, because they're going to feel like you're so self-righteous and like that you're just someone who's full of yourself. Self-righteous was not the right word, but you know, yeah, it's something like that. They're sometimes people just can't, like it's like when someone loses in a game and they don't get respect for the winner when they've lost. They get angry with the winner, like that. It's just how it is, because people don't like losing and people don't like being wrong, and so they will obviously be annoyed with the person who was right. So like in any of these situations you're going to end up like if you say something, if you start rebelling against what the mainstream are babbling about, then you're going to get unpopular either way. So just keep that in mind. Just be passive. Just be indifferent in a way. Like some of these things are also just not really that important. Especially if it's a school project, it's not even like even if you're gonna get a grade, you know, and you want a good grade, of course, because it's maybe, you know, it's maybe important for you. But the thing is that after you graduate, nobody's gonna look at your grades, and I hate to say that. They're gonna look at the diploma. They're never gonna look at the grades. No employer is ever going to open they're not going to look at the numbers, or like not the numbers, it's the letters yeah. They're not going to look at that. They're not going to look at the grades. So if you get a bad grade for this school project that you're going to, like if you're doing a school project, it won't matter. Nobody cares. And so yeah, and sometimes it might even be a positive thing if you actually get a bad grade, especially if you have too many good grades, because too many good grades can also be a negative thing, you know, even though they won't actually look at the grades. But if they did, I think they would want someone who was a team player, more than they want someone who was a perfectionist and a straight A student. Like it's not always the best stigma to have. So I'm gonna shuffle a little bit. Well, I'm gonna shuffle about something else than this. I'm actually gonna ask about love. So what's gonna happen in terms of love for group number 1 in April 2024? Queen of Cups, 2 of Pentacles. You're gonna be like, if you're the female, I think you're gonna have like a glow to you, and I feel like this month could be a good month for dating if you wanted to, but I feel like maybe you're very much in a rush with the things that you're doing in terms of your career and your studies, and so I don't want you to procrastinate on that and start finding like a distraction in terms of your love life. I don't think, like, if this is going to be a distraction from your studies or your career, then I don't think this is a good time to do it. Then just focus on that. But if it's not going to be a distraction, then I think it would be a good time, because I think you have a lot of love to give, and I think that kind of oozes out of you. Like, okay, oozes is a bad word, but it's an energy that is present, and also something that can be felt by others, like in a dating setting. I think you're open and receptive to love. And I think I don't think you've always been so open to love as you are right now. I think you have come a long way, and I think it might have something to do with you taking the time to love yourself first and do a lot of work on yourself and make sure that you're coming to terms with who you are. And I think this is making you very open to receiving. And of course, receiving is a big part of love. And if you weren't good at receiving in the past relationship, I understand why you might be hesitant to maybe throw yourself into into a new relationship, because maybe you're afraid of ending up in the same situation where you're the one giving and not receiving, either because you were not receptive or because the person was not making an effort into trying to give you anything. But I feel like there is a good chance of you finding love if you go out and actually look for it. If you're single, of course. If you're in a relationship, then I feel like just keep doing what you're doing. I don't think there's actually any advice here other than maybe if you're the female and you're in a relationship with a male, then maybe consider, like, I'm not saying, like, be passive. Don't make any rash decisions in April. I don't think that's a good idea. And don't be starting any fights with this person. But maybe ask yourself why you started this relationship to begin with. And if you can't find the reason, then maybe it's okay to think about maybe leaving this person, just not in April, maybe next month. Or, like, I'm not saying that you should leave them, just figure out if there is reasons to stay. Because with the Two of Pentacles, it's usually the dick card, the asshole card, and it is kind of gender specific for males. So if you're the male and you're in a relationship with a female, then I have bad news for you, because I feel like maybe you're actually the one who's the dick here, and maybe you're taking your partner a little bit for granted. So just keep that in mind. But yeah. But I feel like in general, when it comes to your love life, in April, I don't think you should make any drastic decisions. So, yeah. I also want to know like a little bit more specifically about your career, even though this reading has been a lot about your career, but I want to know like what's going to happen in your career. Is there something interesting to mention about your career, like something? Okay, Four of Pentacles. I think you're growing something, and it is growing between these four walls, and it is a flower with pentacles on it. So in terms of your career, it seems like you're headed in the right direction. You're also headed towards success, and it doesn't matter if you, for instance, like do a project or do something with your coworkers or do something with your study buddies at school or whatever. Like if you do something right now in April, if you do something that you're not going to be proud of just for the sake of the morale at the workplace or at your school, or this is not going to change the direction of your career. You're still going to have good prospects for your career. It's still headed in the right direction. So just keep in mind that if you just relax a little bit, stay a little bit passive, be a little bit of a pushover, you don't have to have an opinion on everything. You don't have to tell your opinion about everything, or like you don't have to always be the one who's right. And even though you have a lot of knowledge and a lot of wisdom, you don't always have to share it. Sometimes it's better to just keep your mouth shut. Sometimes you also need to remember that if you share too much of your wisdom, it's kind of like throwing pearls before swines, or how you say, I don't know how you say that in English, but the biblical phrase, that it's maybe not the right audience that you're giving it to, that maybe these people don't appreciate it, and so maybe it's not really worth it. Maybe it's good to just sit on it and know it's there. Like maybe write it down for your own sake. Write it down in a notebook just for yourself, so that in the future you can look back at it and maybe make something out of it. But just don't share too much of your own brilliance with people who can't even see it for what it is. Like so yeah. And yeah, maybe keep it for yourself. Like keep it hidden, keep it protected. Grow these flowers in yourself, like within you, and within your privacy, the privacy of your own home. And maybe like if you're in school and doing a school project, you might have some great ideas for something that you could be doing as a PhD or something, then write it down. Remember it when you get to that point, like, or something that you might want to write a book about, and just write down all the notes just for yourself, so that you can use it later, so that you're not sharing something with others that could also potentially end up being used by them, where you are the one who's supposed to get credit for this, and it's better to just sit on it and keep it protected inside of you. And yeah. So yeah, I think that's all I have for you, group number 1. I hope this reading was helpful, and have a great day and have a great month. And if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one. And yeah, thank you for watching, and bye. Hello, group number 2. You chose these Tarot Cats tarot cards, and you also chose this rune stone here. It's the Rune runestone, and it's about satisfaction, it's about union, it's about an opportunity coming up in terms of your career. And it also seems to be about getting help from a person that you don't expect to be able to help you. That it's also about accepting help, and maybe also reaching out and asking for help, and not always having to do everything on your own. That maybe some of you are hyper independent and you like doing things alone, you like doing things on your own, because then you're in control of the outcome, and then you're the only one responsible for the outcome, you know. And sometimes it might be easier when you do things on your own. It might be easier to also cope with the things that go wrong, because you don't want too many people interfering. Or it's not because I feel like it's not because you're so, like, I don't think it's because you feel like you can only do it right if you do it alone. I don't think that's how you feel about this, but I feel like some of you are just more comfortable doing things on your own, because you don't want to drag too many people into your business, and you don't want too many people, maybe you don't want to bother people with your issues, and you feel like you're being a burden to them if you keep dragging them into your personal stuff. But I feel like this runestone here is saying that it might be a good time in April to open up and allow people to help you, because I feel like there are a lot of people around you who actually want to help. And if they knew what you needed help with, and if they knew that you wanted help with it, I think they would automatically do it. They wouldn't even think about it. So yeah, I think it's a good time to be also to be united with the people around you. Don't get too isolated in April. Try to reach out to people. Try to talk to someone close to you every day. Like if they are a phone call away, then make sure to have that phone call. Maybe not every day. I know it's hard when you have a lot of other things that you have to do, but maybe just reach out to people close to you. And also just, I think it would be good for you to also be a little bit open-minded about someone who is maybe trying to get into your life. I feel like this is not someone who is close to you. I don't even think it's someone that you know very well. I think it's someone who's kind of always kind of on the side, like the baseline, or like, I don't know, like not baseline, the sideline, like someone who's constantly trying to win you over, or trying to, like, I feel like this person wants to be a part of your circle of friends. Like, I think this person wants to get close to you, but I think this person feels like you're not really giving them a chance, that you seem to be judging them because of something they did, or something they've said, or maybe that they feel like you're just judging the book by its cover, that you expect this person to not be your cup of tea, just because they might dress differently, or they might look differently, or like, and I don't think that's actually the case. I think this person just might feel like there must be something else going on here, because they feel like they've tried to get into contact with you, and they might have felt a little bit rejected in their attempts. So I don't know why you might hesitate to get this person into your life. Maybe you're afraid that this person is flirting with you and trying to get in your pants, and so maybe you're trying to keep them on a distance because you're not interested in that sort of thing with them. Maybe because this is someone that you have to see every day, and maybe you don't want it to become awkward, especially if this is someone that you work with. Maybe you feel like that would just make it very hard to work with this person, like, and maybe you're just avoiding that, like that. But I feel like this person is actually not trying to get in your pants. I think this person is just actually interested in a friendship with you. I think this person just wants to get close to you. I don't think it's only romantic or not. I don't even know if it is romantic at all. Like, so maybe give this person a chance. And maybe if this person is a little bit awkward and might say some things that are not always the coolest things to say, like that this person might sometimes get misunderstood, but there could be other reasons for that. This person could just be very nervous, and so this person might start saying strange things when they are nervous and when they feel uncomfortable, or when they feel like they're being judged. That might trigger like some kind of domino effect where it just keeps going. Like then they just trip on the next word and the next word and the next word, and like, it's hard when you start, like I get this as well. Like if I start tripping on one word, then I just keep tripping. Like and it's hard to get out of that, like that loop. And so maybe this person isn't like that if you get to know them. So maybe try to get to know them. Like maybe give this person the benefit of the doubt. So yeah. I'm going to shuffle and see what the cards have to say. I don't know, did I do the channeling already? Well, I'm going to do the channeling again. And like if I have done it, then yeah. It just kind of threw me off that I did the rune stone thing, so I don't know if I actually got to the channeling. So I'm gonna do the channeling now, even if it's the second time, but who cares? So Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 2? So what's going to happen in April 2024 for group number 2? What's going to happen in April for group number 2 in April 2024? I feel like there's going to be financial success here for you. I feel like there is, like if you're looking for a job right now, then I feel like you're going to get a job in April. If you have a job right now, but I feel like there's going to be more work to do, so more business, especially if you're self-employed. If you have some kind of business where you where you help people, or where you sell a service to people, and you are of course looking for clients, because clients equals money. I think there's going to be more clients. I think there's going to be more people reaching out for you, reaching out to you for your service. So yeah. And I feel like you're going to be satisfied with this. I feel like you're going to be happy that there's going to be a lot to do. And that I feel like there is also going to be some kind of opportunity, some exciting new thing. So what else? What else is there going to happen? In April? I feel like it might be good to maybe find the things that unite you with others, instead of going too much into rabbit holes. I don't know, this kind of makes me think about conspiracy theories and stuff like that. I'm not saying that this has anything to do with conspiracy theories, but I feel like if you get into some kind of conversation with someone about conspiracy theories, maybe don't get, like, I feel like don't get too much into it with this person, and also just I think I feel like conspiracy theories could be a rabbit hole. It could be something where you could get sucked into it, where it can be quite hard to stop when you start getting into it, because it is fun, it is interesting, but it's also, you know, it can end up maybe making you a little bit paranoid. It can make everyone a little bit paranoid. If like it has made me paranoid before, like when I got into it, especially because, you know, there is so much confirmation bias. If someone has like has one idea, like something that is wacky, they can find so much proof that this is true, and it's fun. I like the whole idea of arguing a case that is nonsensical and making it make sense, and try to create logic where there is no logic. Like that, I find it interesting, and I think everybody has a right to get into that rabbit hole, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but I'm just saying that maybe there are other things that you could be spending your time on in April, and I feel like you're going to be quite busy, so maybe don't get into something that is like, and it doesn't have to be conspiracy theories. That's just the first thing that popped into my mind, but it could be anything that gets you sucked in, you know. Some like if you know that you have a tendency to sometimes get sucked into something, like especially like it could also be video games, like or something like that, where you know that if you start a certain video game, it might be hard to stop again. Like for instance, you know, Civilization or The Sims or something like that. It's kind of certain games are very hard to stop when you start it, because you want to see it through, you know. Whereas certain other video games might be something where you can kind of pause it and then start again the next day, and it doesn't have to be done like in one sitting, you know. And if you know that you have that tendency, try not to get tempted to spend your time on that. Also, if you have a tendency to binge watch TV shows, maybe now is not a good time to do that. Maybe try to watch movies instead. Like if you know that watching a movie will give you the same satisfaction but take less time than binge watching a whole season of a show, then maybe do that. Like, and also be aware that maybe you're trying purposely to distract yourself because you're maybe trying to avoid something that's hard. And of course, it's very natural. We're all looking for distractions. We're all just, of course, also it can also be a way for the brain to get a break, and that it can also be a sign of stress, that we try to find some way to escape from the stress, that our brain does that naturally, and that that maybe just, even though it's okay, like there's nothing wrong with doing this, just be aware of it, and maybe make sure that you, I don't know. I'm not sure if there is a way to, like, I don't know if I should say to you that you shouldn't procrastinate and that you shouldn't distract yourself, because if your brain really needs it, then also listen to that, but maybe see if you can do it in moderation. like also taking breaks every day where you do something that is rather short term could help you get to the point where you don't need to binge watch something or do something in excess, because the excess, like the need of doing something in excess, is maybe because you're depriving yourself from it over a long time. You know, if you're not, like, if you just keep going in a high pace for like 2 weeks where you're only focusing on work, of course you're going to slip into escapism and go full on, like, and then spend 5 days doing nothing but binge watch a whole show, a whole TV show with 7 seasons or whatever. And it is maybe inevitable if you don't take the time every day to do something fun for for a couple of hours, 2 hours, 1 hour, whatever. But just make sure that you take that time. It's maybe also the same, you know, like I'm kind of sensing that this could also be relating to your diet, that maybe don't make your diet so boring as and so restricted to the point where you're getting so tired of it that you fall into some patterns or some like if you have a problem with binge eating or something like that, then of course I like, this is just some advice that I'm getting right now. It's just like it's not my professional opinion about any of this, because I don't have one, because I'm not a professional on this. So but I feel like maybe it's not a good idea to, you know, to be restricted, have a restricted diet. Maybe make room for every day having having some wiggle room to also eat something that provides you with some joy, and where it's not just dull and boring all the way through. I don't know, but and also the whole idea of, you know, that it's maybe not good to binge eat candy in the weekends and then have like restriction throughout the week, because it might make it so deprived, like that your brain is deprived from the hormones that gives you the joy that you get from eating something that spikes your I don't remember it's some brain stuff, like I don't remember. I sound like an idiot right now. It's okay. I'm okay with it. I've accepted this a long time ago. Like, it's okay. But the thing is that yeah, I feel like I have already said this. I don't want to repeat any of what I just said, but I do want to say that maybe just don't make it boring and dull. Like, eat some candy every day, but just in moderation. Like that it doesn't have to, like, life doesn't have to be boring. We can just enjoy the things that make us happy, just in smaller doses. So okay. I'm gonna shuffle and see what the cards have to say. About your April. the month of April for you. What's going to happen in the month of April? Okay, 7 of Swords. So the 7 of Swords is about strategy. It's about being tactical, having a tactic when it comes to maybe your career, and seeing it through, and maybe also planning out certain things in terms of your career and how you're managing it. And I think this could be the key to your success. I feel like you're going to have success in April, but I think the success that you're going to get is also maybe due to better time management, that you're going to be better at managing your free time and making sure that you're focused in the hours where you have to be focused. And maybe it's good to create a schedule where you just tell yourself that you're only going to be working for 8 hours, and that is all. And that's the only time that you're going to be spending on whatever you're doing. And if you create that limitation, then maybe it's going to be easier to actually focus in those 8 hours, because you know that after those 8 hours you have free time to do whatever you want. And I think it can get a little bit hard to find the motivation if you set a goal that says that you have to spend every waking hour of the day doing your job, like doing work. Then of course you're going to burn out. You're not going to be interested in doing it, and you're not going to be focused while doing it. It's going to take away all your concentration, and you're not going to feel like there's that carrot at the end of the day where you feel like, okay, if I just pull through and do my best in these 8 hours or 9 hours or whatever, then I can do exactly what I want. I can watch the TV show. I can do everything that like everything I want. And that, I think that's just the carrot that you need to find the motivation, to find the concentration to get things done. And I don't know if this is, of course, it's kind of like a no-brainer. I know that I'm not inventing the wheel here, and it is what it is. Or reinventing the wheel if you want. But, well, it could be both, you know. I feel like I've heard people use both phrases, and it is what it is. So I'm going to shuffle a little bit more, maybe more focused on your love life, just to see what's going to happen in your love life in April. So what's going to happen in your love life? Okay, with the Hermit, maybe you're going to be single, but okay with being single. If you're in a relationship right now, you're obviously not going to be single, but I feel like, yeah, with the Hermit is single. The Hermit is, yeah, a hermit. So I feel like it is maybe a time where you're focusing a little bit more on yourself, but I think that's also good. It's good to focus on yourself. It's good to work on yourself and work on growing the things that you're growing right now in terms of your career. I think this is a good way to prioritize at the moment. I feel like there's also going to be a lot of things happening in April. So a lot of work, a lot of busyness and a lot of business. And so yeah, I think it's okay to to maybe just put your love life a little bit on pause. And I think you're already doing that. So it feels like that's not going to come as a surprise to you, that maybe this is not going to be the month where you find the love of your life, but maybe that's okay, you know, because that would be bad timing. And the universe knows that that would be bad timing, so that's why it's not in the cards for you for this month. So and with the Two of Wands reversed, I feel like you're not gonna, you're not in, like, I feel like you're already using all your headspace for your career, and I don't think you're at a point where you can plan out, you know, a family and settling down, and maybe you don't even know where you're going to be living a year from now, and maybe you feel like maybe you're going to be moving, or like, so it might be silly to settle down with someone right now and find your true love now, when that could actually be limiting you from shooting for the stars and doing the things that you're supposed to be doing, and the things that you want to do with your life. If that is to move to a bigger city and maybe find some other opportunities there in terms of your career, then that slot should be open for you, and you should have that as an option. And I think it would just be limiting for you to get in a relationship right now. And if you are in a relationship right now, then make sure that there is freedom in this relationship. Make sure that the person that you're with is on board with the fact that you're flexible, and that you're also looking for a partner who is also flexible when it comes to moving around, and that, I don't know, and that this needs to be a person who's adventurous and has ambitions as well as you, like in the same way as you, because then this person understands what you're going through and understands the sacrifice that you need to make in order to make your dreams come true. And I think that's only something that you would find in a relationship with someone who is like-minded, and that person would also understand if it had to be long distance for the sake of you living your dream in terms of career. So if you're with someone who's not flexible at all, someone who doesn't want to sacrifice in order to, and if you're with someone who only wants to live one place for the rest of their life and can't see themselves, you know, doing anything other than what they are doing right now, like that if this person doesn't have that, then like I feel like that would just be a little bit limiting for you. And I don't know, maybe it's good to have someone who's a rock, who can kind of ground you and make sure that you're not, you know, flying in the air. And maybe that could be a good counterpart, but make sure that you're not being limited in your path, like your mission on Earth, because what you're doing in your career is maybe so important that no one is supposed to get in the way of that. So just keep that in mind. But I'm going to ask about career. So I'm going to focus the shuffling on career. So I'm going to ask what's going to happen in April for group number 2 in terms of their career. Ten of Cups and Ace of Swords. So these cards are good. So 10 of Cups tells me that I feel like you're going to be very happy with your career, and I feel like you're maybe also going to gain a family through your career. Like, I don't know if you're going to be working somewhere where you're going to find your soul family, where this is going to feel like a family, that you're going to feel like you care so much about the people that you work with, and that you can see so much of yourself in them, and that you can see how you've finally found people who are like-minded, who are of the same belief as you, and who seem to also have the same path as you do, and the same mission, and finding that might be so. Like, I'm not saying that you're necessarily going to find it all the way through in April. I feel like it's a process. I feel like you're going to find a part of it in April, but I feel like it's just going to keep going. Like, I think you're maybe going to find 1 or 2 people in April where you're going to feel this sense of belonging, but then it's just going to grow exponentially from there. So yeah, I feel like there's also going to be opportunities for cooperating with others, and having exciting people that you're going to be cooperating with. And people that you look up to, and people that you have mad respect for, are going to be working with you, and I think this is going to be good. I feel like, again, this is about April. I feel like for many of you this is within April, but I feel like it's kind of like between, like it's April and May. I feel like I feel like the time frame is a little bit limited, but I'm getting all this information for a reason, and it is still going to happen within the next 2 or 3 months maybe. But I feel like it's going to start in April, and it's going to be exciting. And with the Ace of Swords, I feel like you're going to be working a lot with your brain, and I feel like you're going to be challenged in a good way, where you feel like this is actually exciting. This is something where you're being stimulated, where you feel like it's giving you motivation. It's giving you a purpose. It's giving you a reason to wake up in the morning. And I think that's very good. And I think you're also going to be valued for the things that you can do, for the talent that you have, for the wisdom and the knowledge that you have. So, yeah. So I feel like you're also going to get some recognition for your work. And so I feel like overall, when it comes to career, I feel like April is going to be a good month for you. So yeah, maybe when it comes to love, not so much. Like it's going to maybe be a little bit of a dry spell, but it's like you win some and you lose some. And isn't that what you say about love? Like that it's that if you have luck in games, then you don't have luck in love. And this, like, of course, the career, like career is a little bit of a game, you know, it's a gamble, and it's a and either you win or you lose. And I feel like when now you're on a winning spree, and I think you're doing well, and you're winning, and yes, you're going to be losing a little bit in love, or you're not going to be losing, but you're going to be maybe not having that much luck in love. And that's okay, because we don't have to always think about love, you know. Sometimes there are bigger things in life, and yeah. So that's all I have for you, group number 2. I hope this reading was helpful, and have a great day. And if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one. And thank you for watching, and bye. Hello, group number 3. You chose this Miss Cleo's tarot deck and this runestone. And this runestone here, it means transformation, it means change, it means a new beginning, and it also means that something needs to end in order for something new to begin. And so there might be something that you're going to be letting go of in April, and I think it's going to be for the better. There's going to be a new thing happening in your life, and you need to make room for this new thing. Like right now, your life is too full. There's too many things, too many people, or too many things that you're working on, or like, I don't know what it is, but it feels like there's not a lot of space for something new and exciting to happen to you. And so remember that when you think about it, like if you want something interesting to happen in April, think about your life right now and think about adding something to it. Maybe that's actually not what you want, like deep down, because at the moment, like I feel like many of you are rather stressed out with the things that are happening, that you are maybe a little bit overwhelmed and maybe burning yourself out a little bit. So of course it's always interesting to have something to look forward to, but you have to make room. You need to, like, in order to like get something into your calendar, you need to clear your calendar to make room for it. So if you want to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you need to clean out your calendar, because you don't have room for it right now. So I feel like there is going to be something ending. Either you're going to end it, or the universe is going to end it for you. So whether you make a decision or don't, it's going to be decided. So if you don't clear your schedule, the universe is going to do it for you. So I feel like, yes, there's going to be an end. Maybe for some of you it's gonna sting a little bit that this is going to end, especially if you're not going to end it on your terms. If it's going to be ended by someone else, or someone else is going to decide it for you, it's going to sting, but it's like taking off a bandage. It's going to sting in the beginning, but at the end of the day, that's how you grow. Like, you can't grow with a bandage on. It's going to make the wound way too moist, and then it can't grow on. It needs to be dry. It needs to be able to oxidize in order to create like a crust on it. So I feel like, well, I know there is some different opinions about that, about the wound thing. Like, that some people mean that you have to actually wear the bandage for very long, in order for it to grow properly. But and maybe some doctors would say that the crust is actually a bad thing, that it's dead cells, and you can actually avoid the death of these cells if you actually keep the bandage on. But the thing is that what I was getting what I was getting from spirit is the opposite of that. Like that it's better to rip off the bandage because then you can heal. And so keeping the bandage on might just postpone the healing. And I don't think that's a good idea for you. So I feel like maybe you're right now, like I don't know what this is right now. I feel like you might know. So maybe there's no point in me guessing. But I feel like, yeah, maybe some of you are in a relationship right now or dating someone right now that you feel like you want to keep them in your life because maybe it's better to have them there than to not have them there. Like that especially if you're dating someone, it might not even be official, but you might like the idea that it's there, that it's like a backup plan, that you can always fall back on that if you want to, or like that. But I feel like this is not the ideal situation. And maybe it's just causing you to not move on properly. That you might not, it might not be good for you to be in some kind of limbo where you keep someone as a romantic option for you, but if you deep down feel like this is probably not gonna be official at any point, maybe because you know that this person is not the type of person who's gonna settle down anyways, and maybe you're also not completely certain whether you are interested in them in that sense, as a husband or wife, that there might be a lot of things that you're just not really making a decision about this because you're not really, maybe you're keeping it a little bit on a distance where I don't know, but it's maybe better to just end it so that you can actually start something with someone that you're certain about, and who seems to, like someone who is also certain about you, and where you can have that new beginning where you can do it right this time, where it can be right from the get-go. Because I feel like the person that you keep in this limbo state, where he also keeps you in a limbo state, or he or she, I don't know the gender, but this is just unfair to both parties. I feel like you're both doing this to each other, and it's not fair to any of you, and none of you are moving on because of this, and none of you are actually seeking the happiness that you could have. And so I don't know. This could also be about a job that you have right now. Like if it's not about love, then maybe if you know that you're spending a lot of time on a job that seems to be a dead end, maybe in April it could be time to leave this behind and start something where you can actually see a future in it, where you feel like your efforts are actually going somewhere, like you're actually building something up. So instead of just being at the final destination and not really being able to grow, not really being able to unfold or do anything other than just sitting there on the end, like final destination, just not going anywhere else. Like that, it's just, I feel like maybe you've gotten as much out of the job that you have right now to the point where you can't learn more, you can't get more, you can, like that, it is it like you've squeezed the whole the lemon and you've gotten all the juice out of it. So maybe it's okay to move on from it. So I feel like there's something where you need to move on from something, create space in your life by taking something out of your life in order to make space for something more meaningful. I'm going to shuffle and see what the cards have to say. Page of Swords and King of Staffs. So, with the Page of Swords, I'm sensing that in April, you need to be a little bit more bold and courageous and do something without thinking, without overthinking it, without having everything worked out. Like sometimes it's better to just make a decision, and yes, it's going to be hard a little bit in the beginning because you're going to be uncertain whether it's going to work out, but just have faith that it's going to work out. And sometimes it can be very fruitful to be in a situation where you are out of your comfort zone, where you just have to take whatever comes at you and just do it, even though it might be a little bit scary. Like maybe also like hitting a little bit over the mark, or like aiming over the mark here, because I feel like you have been aiming a little bit under the mark when you've been throwing the whatever, you know. Maybe shoot for the stars a little bit more. Like maybe like if it has to do with a job, for instance, like if you're thinking about leaving your job, your current job, maybe when you have to apply for a new job, maybe consider something that is like a little bit scary, something where you are maybe underqualified for it. But it's better to be underqualified than being overqualified for something, like, because being underqualified means that you're going to have a lot of opportunity for growth and learning, and it's going to be a good experience if you actually get the job. And that is maybe a dice that is worthwhile, like to take that risk and see where it goes. And you could be lucky to get it. So I'm also sensing that this could also be referring to your love life. If you are currently dating someone who is under like someone who's beneath you, in terms of, you know, in terms, I don't know in terms of what, but in terms of maybe status, or maybe maybe the person that you're currently dating doesn't have a job, or doesn't have, like maybe they don't live on their own, or like they might live, like they might have a lot of things where they are maybe not completely grown up yet, like where they are still in the phases where they are trying to establish themselves, but they're not really established. And they're like, of course they don't have to be established, but it might be good if they don't live in their mother's basement, you know, if they don't, like if they have maybe something to offer, like just something. It doesn't have to be a lot, but just a little bit more than maybe the person that you're dating right now. This person might not really bring anything to the table, and it's maybe important to demand something, just something. And so I feel like, well, you could keep being in this relationship, but something needs to change. It needs to, like, there needs to be a massive transformation in order to make this work. They need to change, they need to show that they are making an effort into, you know, like into actually, like that they're actually doing something to get closer to you, to maybe meet some of your criterias, even though of course they don't have to change for you, but they might have to change in order, like they might have to change their approach when they deal with you. That's not asking them to change as a person, that's asking them to change their approach. It's not the same thing. So you can ask them to change that without actually having them jeopardize their integrity. Like they would still be the same person. They would just know how to communicate better with you, how to show you affection, how to make you happy. Like those things could be okay for them to, like, it would be okay if they knew that they have to change their approach in order to be with you. That if they don't, then you're not gonna keep dealing with this person. That maybe giving this person an ultimatum could be beneficial. I'm afraid that this person is so afraid that someone is going to try to change them, that if you give this person some demands, that this person is just going to say that they would rather leave than change who they are in order to meet your demands. And if they do that, then it's a no-brainer. Then you just have to go, you know, because then it's just not worthwhile. So I feel like this person is mixing apples and oranges here, because I feel like, well, it's a different thing to tell someone that they need to change their appearance, or that they need to change their personality, or that they need to change their hobbies, or that they need to change their friends, or like something like that. That is a no-go in a relationship, to change your partner in that way. But to change the way that they talk to you, to tell them that you don't like it when they talk to you in that way, or that if you don't like it if they raise their voice at you or something like that, if you ask them politely to stop doing that, you know, that's not trying to change them. That's just creating boundaries for you, and teaching them how to deal with you in a proper way, to the point where you can keep going if they actually change these things. But it's changing their approach, not their personality, and not who they are. And I feel like this person is not really understanding that that these two things are separate, and so that could potentially be problematic in the future if you continue to be with this person. I'm also sensing that some of you are single, so maybe this is not making any sense to you, but then of course then you can just be happy that you don't have to deal with this. So it's better to be single than to have to deal with this. So yeah, but yeah, with the King of Staffs here, I'm sensing that in April, I think you're going to be finding finding your own authority in some way, like that you're going to be an authority maybe to like that you're gonna feel that way, that you're gonna feel like you're more in your power, that you're kind of getting your power back and realizing that you're actually impactful, that you can actually make a difference and change the world just by, you know, changing a few people's lives, but that this is still a big thing, that I feel like you're going to find some kind of purpose, and I feel like you're going to find that purpose in something new that you're going to be starting in April. And I think it's good that if you like, if you put like, if you sorry, I'm just like, I don't know why I'm rambling right now. I feel like I'm tripping on my words. I'm not really being very coherent. Maybe I'm not. I don't know if it's like low blood sugar or something. I don't know. I feel like that. Well, it is what it is. But I'm gonna shuffle and see what the cards have to say. Maybe, well, the Six of Swords came through, and I feel like, yeah, you need to leave something behind. Leave the waves, all the high waves, all the stormy waters. Leave that behind and get yourself over to the calm waters. And you don't need the stormy waters anyways. You don't need all this excitement with having all this rushing and this drama in your life. That I feel like there are also people around you who are creating unnecessary drama, and it's okay to create distance from this mess. You don't need it. You don't have to deal with it. You can just go. And maybe it could also be maybe a good time to consider moving, you know, moving to a new place. I'm not saying that you should, but if it's something that you have been thinking about, like if you've been thinking about going abroad or something like that, like just heading to an exotic destination, if you have the opportunity for it, like if you can do that, if there is some kind of opening coming up where you can travel, maybe take that opportunity, maybe just do it, because I feel like you need to just be a little bit more bold and courageous and just do it, and just don't think about it, just do it. And if there's something that you want to do it. Yeah. The Magician reversed. So yeah, get out of the drama. Just if you have someone in your life right now who's a bit of a snake, someone who can't be trusted, like someone where you know that this person is really nice to you and says all these nice things and always compliments you when you talk to them, and this person might tell you that you're their favorite, or that you're their best friend, or that you're the only one that they can trust, or the only one that they want to talk to, or whatever. And it's all very flattering, but you just know that this person is not meaning a word of what they're saying, that this is all bullshit, that they are going to be talking shit about you behind your back, and you know that because you know that this person is very two-faced, and this person does it all the time. Like this person, like you might have witnessed it firsthand, where you have seen this person butter someone up and be like all nice and complimentary towards another person, and then like the second that person left the room, this person just started talking shit about them. And I think that like it's okay to it's okay to say that you don't want to well, maybe don't say it to them, because this person can be very, very toxic and can be like venom, like venom in the friend group, or like this. Like if you get on this person's bad side, this person is gonna try to end you and do it socially, like create social murder on you. And so maybe be a little bit smart about this. Don't tell this person that you don't want to have any more contact with them. Just try to I don't know, like try to ignore this person in a way that doesn't give it away, you know. Like if they call and want to meet up with you, just tell them that you're busy, which is also true. So you wouldn't be lying. And yeah. And you don't owe this person anything, by the way. Like even if this person has done something nice to you in the past, they can't keep that as an excuse to keep hurting you and keep being mean to you behind your back. Because, you know, this person wouldn't feel like they are being mean to you because they see it from the way that they talk to you, and they don't realize that you might have actually been hurt by the things that they've said behind your back, because this person doesn't think that you actually have heard any of it. But I feel like you have. I feel like you have heard it from a third party who has told you that they've been quite nasty. And so, yeah, you don't owe this person anything. So I'm going to shuffle a little bit more specifically about your love life in April 2024. What's going to happen in your love life in April? Okay, so 7 of Wands and 2 of Wands. So I feel like there is a chance to find love. I feel like you are, like with the 7 of Wands, you are in a good position. You are very attractive. You are someone who is in high demand. And there seems to be a lot of people who actually want you. So you shouldn't be insecure about that. Like, especially if you're in a relationship right now and you're afraid that if you get out of this relationship that you won't find anybody. If you're afraid of that, and if you're holding on to this relationship or this dating thing that you have going on, this situationship that you have going on, if you're holding on to it because you're afraid that you can't find anything better, like you can, like of course you can find something better. I feel like that's a no-brainer. That you shouldn't you really shouldn't sell yourself so short. No reason to. Like you're a catch. So and so I think there is there could be a good opportunity for finding new love in April, if you wanted to. Like if you want to date someone, if you want to go out finding love. Of course, if you're just going to be sitting at home in April, then maybe you're not going to find your love unless you find it on a dating app or something like that. But if you're not actively looking for love, it might be hard to find it. But if you actively go out looking for love, I think it's going to be easier. So yeah, and yeah, then it's actually going to happen, you know. So I'm going to shuffle a little bit more up. Well, I'm going to shuffle specifically about your career situation. What's going to happen in terms of your career in April 2024. Ace of Cups. So I feel like you're going to find something that you're passionate about, something that can be like a passion project, passion child, like something where you can actually birth something new. And I don't know if you have ever thought about like maybe also becoming an entrepreneur or something like that. But if you have, then I feel like maybe it could be a good time to try that out, just to see if you can do it. Like, and I think you can. So, but if that's something that you have wanted or dreamt of, then I think you should give it a shot. I think you would regret it if you didn't try. So maybe April could be a good month to realize that plan, create it and make it, like maybe visualize it. Maybe don't make, like maybe in April it would be too early to take the steps in order to materialize it, but visualizing it wouldn't hurt. Like try to see if you can get the idea of it, and maybe also write some notes about it, and what like brainstorm about it, and what you want to achieve from it, and what you want to do, and maybe get maybe write down your dream, like your dream vision, and then you can go from there, you know. But I'm going to shuffle a little bit more about your career. Sorry, that's too many cards, and they also felt, well, like there's a bunch of cards that fell to the floor. I'm not going to pick them up because it's half of the deck, and so it doesn't have any meaning. I'm going to go with these way too many cards, but I'm just going to go with them instead. Because I feel like there is actually a lot happening in terms of your career. And this is a little bit messy, I know that. And maybe some people would say that this is super unprofessional, but I don't care. But the Hierophant here, I feel like I feel like you're actually at a point where you have gathered enough wisdom to the point where I think you could actually teach if you wanted to. So if you've ever thought about teaching or making tutorials, or, you know, yeah, teaching people how to do something, I think maybe in April, maybe do it in April. Maybe take this month and actually materialize some of your dreams, or visualize them, or whatever. But I feel like, especially if you have thought about doing like maybe language tutorials or teaching languages or something like that, I feel like you could be quite good at it, and it might be a lot. It might be closer to you than you think it is. Like it might be more in your reach. Maybe you have been thinking of it as like a dream that's far out in the future, but I think an opportunity will present itself. Maybe if you look for it, of course, but this could be one of those things where it could be okay to maybe apply for a job even though you're underqualified for it, because sometimes people get hired based on I can't talk. I don't know what's wrong with me. So yeah, based on other criterias. So you can go to an interview, and if you're very charming and if you win them over with your personality, then they might look past the fact that maybe you don't have exactly what they were looking for in terms of qualifications. And so yeah, you might not have to go through, like, if you think you have to have a master's degree in something in order to teach something, then maybe there is a loophole where maybe you don't have to have that. Maybe you can actually teach anyway. So that's just something about your career. Like, I know it's not for all of you. It's not like it's for all of you who are thinking about a career in language or teaching. But for those of you who are not thinking about any of that, then maybe that part just doesn't resonate, and that's okay, because not everything has to resonate with everyone. So with the Queen of Cups reversed, maybe you would be more successful when it comes to your career in April if you focus more on your career instead of your love life. If you set your love life a little bit on pause and then focus entirely on your career, maybe you would be more successful. But not everything is about success. So of course, if you would rather find your true love, then focus on that instead. Then this can wait, So with the Seven of Swords reversed, I feel like if you choose a career in something where you need to be unique, where you need to be original, where you need to keep coming up with new ideas, I think that is something that would fit you very well, where you have to be creative, where you have to constantly find new fun ways to do it, like to teach or to create content that is original and unique. I think that is something that could fit you very well. And I think you're a very innovative person. I think you have a very beautiful brain. I feel like it is remarkable, and I think you should remember that you have a very new soul. If you believe in that sort of thing, I think you have the innovation, you have the originality, and I think you should use that. And you're someone who could invent something, like something big, something that could be groundbreaking, something that can change our outlook on life. And of course, you could also start out by teaching and then, branch out and start writing books or start creating content on social media or something where you share your ideas with people. But maybe in April, let's maybe start out with something a little bit more tangible while you're visualizing this great thing that you could be doing, you know, this creative thing where you have to, of course, go through the creative process before you can materialize it. So, yeah. And yeah, I think, well, I think that's all I have for you. I feel like these cards are maybe just repeating what I have already said. So I feel like that's not necessary. But I feel like this is going to be an exciting time in terms of your career. I feel like there's going to be a new beginning. I think there's going to be something new and exciting happening. I think you're going to be getting a lot of new ideas as well. And I think these ideas are going to come from something divine. And so they are divinely guided, and you are supposed to get them. And you're supposed to materialize them. Of course, you don't get like a time frame or a deadline on when you should materialize them. You should, of course, do it when the time is right. But don't wait too long, because if you wait too long, then this divine inspiration that you're going to get might be passed on to someone else. And it's not like this person is stealing your ideas, because this person could be on the other end of the world, you know, and you have no relation to this person, but this person is going to be like the idea might be passed on to that person, if that makes sense. It's a little bit like mumbo jumbo, but I believe it strongly. I believe that that we are more like, it's more like renting. Like we're renting the inspiration, and if we're not using it properly, it's just going to go to the next person. And of course, it's because, you know, these ideas that are planted in our mind, they are there for a reason. We are meant to change the world. We're meant to start something and start, you know, processes that's gonna like we get something that is going to create an association in another person's brain and another person's brain, and it's meant to be some kind of chain reaction. But if we get it without actually somehow finding an outlet for it, we're not going to be able to have it for ourselves for very long. So it's just that. So maybe if you get a really good idea, make sure to make something out of it and take that opportunity to do it. Maybe right away, or try to do it as fast as possible without no pressure, you know, but still there's a little bit of pressure, but take your time anyways. I don't know, but you're important, and so just remember that. So yeah, I think that's all I have for you, group number 3. I hope this reading was somewhat helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel. And if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one. And have a great day, and bye.